All right. So, well, trekking through these in one sitting is so nice because I never do my makeup anymore because, well, quarantine and don't have to go anywhere. I literally wear my pajamas like all the time. Sidebar. So after the 12-week checkup, things were pretty standard. I went back to the doctor. They switched me from a midwife to an OB. The practice I was at had both, but the midwives didn't follow multiples pregnancies. So they switched me over to one of the OBs. I didn't meet her until 16 weeks. They insisted that I make sure I drink a gallon of water every day. That has been, it really makes a big difference. I noticed a huge difference if I drink my water. So I have this enormous 40-ounce water bottle that I had gotten. It has a straw, which helps a lot when you're not feeling great. I usually try to drink 2 of those before lunchtime. And then the last one I drink throughout the afternoon in order to avoid being up all night peeing, which of course at 33 weeks now is completely moot. I pee all night anyway, but early on it helped a lot with like keeping me only having to get up a few times to go to the bathroom, so that was good. So I was drinking a lot of water. Around at 16 weeks, I wound up going to the new doctor. She seemed really nice. I really liked her. It was really hard though, because at this point we're all having to wear masks, and it was just really hard to like keep track of people and figure out who I was actually seeing. I would never have recognized her in public because I had no idea what her face looked like. It was just kind of weird. It was a weird thing. They didn't let anyone go with you to the appointments anymore. I don't know. Things had gotten a little bit strange. But on a positive, right around that, must have been the end of March, early April mark, they put our state on like shelter-in-place lockdown to help prevent the spread of COVID or whatever, and I didn't have any obligations anymore because I'm the worship leader at a church, and we were no longer meeting in person. Everything was online, so that was kind of handy. I enjoyed, I don't know, I had a good time though with like being home with my kids, and just it was actually kind of good timing. I mean, it wasn't ideal. I don't think you ever want to have to be locked in your home for months, but the timing worked out well with my nausea, so I'm not going to complain about that. Let's see what else happened in that time frame. So through like the weeks 12 to like 20, my nausea finally started to subside, but it lasted solidly until like almost 20 weeks. That was really unpleasant. Every doctor's appointment had an ultrasound. So I went to my regular doctor every month, and I went to maternal fetal medicine every month at this point, and they did an ultrasound at both offices just to make sure everything was going well. My regular OB did a lot of my care. She'd check my blood pressure, which they always do at both offices, ask how I was doing. She'd do a quick ultrasound, check on the heart rates, because she said it was just easier to find the heart rates and make sure you were listening to the correct baby through ultrasound. So I always had an ultrasound there. And then maternal fetal medicine would do like an actual growth measurement ultrasound to make sure that they were growing at around the same pace, and that they had adequate fluid and all that jazz. So that was my introduction to maternal fetal medicine. I really hadn't ever had a pregnancy with any complications before, so it was new for me to have to deal with that, which I thought was interesting, and it was fun to learn though. They were really good about teaching and talking to me about twins since I knew nothing. I did a lot of research. This is when I really started watching a billion blogs because, again, I was trapped at home, nowhere to go. And so I just started watching blogs of other people who'd had twins and what their pregnancies were like and kind of what to expect. So during that phase, it was still not bad. Like, other than the nausea, I wasn't a whole lot bigger than my other pregnancies. I felt like I was bigger, but I didn't feel like I was substantially bigger. Everything kind of seemed comparable. I bought maternity clothes. I actually purchased some off of the marketplace on Facebook, and I had gotten some that were like, I normally wore a small. Like before pregnancy, I was like 120 pounds, 5'5", and so I had some of my old maternity clothes still that were all size small. So I went and bought like mediums and larges because I thought, well, odds are I'm going to need bigger sizes. But at this point, I still fit into my regular stuff. Everything was still fine. So I hadn't grown substantially through the 20-week mark. Though I felt bigger, I felt heavier. I hadn't actually gotten a whole lot bigger as far as size-wise, and weight-wise, my weight was still tracking along the same as my previous pregnancies up till then. I gained, with my 3 others, I started right around the same 120 pound weight, and gained a total of 37 to 42 pounds, I think. I think my youngest, I gained the most, 42 pounds. So it wasn't, and I gained it around the same track, every single one. So that part was not too bad. And I was like, okay, this is so far relatively comparable. My hormones were different. I was very even-keeled for myself. Like hormonal me was not bad. With my girls, I was super emotional, like very emotional. With this pregnancy, I was it almost felt like an out-of-body experience throughout a lot of it at this point. Like nothing really stressed me out. I didn't really care. I was super casual. I was like, oh yeah, whatever, everything's fine. So that was up to about the 20-week mark. So then we'll move on to the next from there.